Hope you all are fine. Today I'm going to clear a doubt. One of the viewer, your classmate, he asked me about this topic particularly. He want me to explain it again, so I'm making a video so that each and every one of you can get your doubt clear. The topic is vulnerability. This means unsecured or in means those who are more prone to be affected, those who do not have much security, or simply we can put it unsecured. The meaning of this word is unsecured. So let's have a quick reading. Vulnerability to poverty is a measure. Here measure is not to measure something to calculate. It is option, or it is means, okay, which describes the greater probability. Probability means possibility of certain communities, say members of backward caste or individuals such as widows. Widow means a lady whose husband has expired, okay, or a physically handicapped person. The physically handicapped means any person who is not fully normal. Say his limb is missing, his leg is missing, he has some paralysis or some other kind of disability. Means the person who is not fully you can say normal. If there is any kind of abnormality in a person, he is said to be physically disabled, okay. Of becoming or remaining poor in the coming years, means they are more unsecured. They it is vulnerability is determined, this is very important, after this I will explain, is determined by the options available to different communities for finding an alternative living in terms of assets, education, health and job opportunities, okay. So vulnerability means insecurity, unsecureness of the persons or of the community which are more prone, means which have more possibility or which have more chances to remain poor. Means that due to some, either because they are not socially accepted or because of the social structure of the society, they are at higher risk, or the chances of them to overcome the current situation or to show some development or to raise up from their current situation is very less, or put it simply, they are more affected by any change or by the current circumstances, such as a widow lady. A widow lady is socially, she has to suffer a lot. People, they do not, means in rural areas, in orthodox societies, she is treated with you can say a very bad, in a very bad manner, like she is the reason for the death of her husband, okay. Then the society, it, especially the rural society or the unorthodox, uneducated society in our country, they do not appreciate ladies going out for work, and widows are further suppressed. They are not allowed, or they are not given much initiative, not to mention they are exploited, okay. They are, means they know that she is in a problem, she has no other option, so they get exploited a lot. Means they are paid less or do some odd jobs, etc, etc. Means they are having more problem as compared to a normal person, because they do not have bargaining power. And if that person belongs to some minority community or some other community which is socially down, then problem increases tenfold. So there are greater chances of certain communities like SC, scheduled caste, CST and other such differentiation or caste biases are there. Okay, other backward class means ladies, widows, physically handicapped, and all these kind of persons, they are at a higher risk, or they are in greater chances are there that they will remain poor, or they will get become poor, of becoming or remaining poor in the coming years. Means as time passes by, or as the time with the lapse of the time, there are changes, and most of the time, or 99% of people, they improve, they lift up, they raise up from the current circumstances or current condition, and they show an upward movement. But some communities, either because they are not socially accepted, or because of the atrocities or the hard time they had suffered in the past, they were not given equal opportunities, they were not given equal facilities. So because of that, all these things, the community, certain communities, they are still backward. In earlier times, or before independence, a person of scheduled caste or scheduled tribe community, they were not allowed to drink from the well of common well of the village. A person of higher caste did not allow person of lower caste to drink from the well or to sit near him. They were forced to sit on the ground. They were denied equal treatment. So this is a social evil which to a certain extent had been overcome, but still in our society people do not entertain or do not give equal rights to the citizens or the people from backward or lower caste communities. They are often ill treated, abused, exploited. Okay, so that is why they are in a position, or they are in a position where we can say that chances of these communities to improve is very less, because of the social order, because of the you can say anarchical behavior of the higher communities. Further, it is analyzed on the basis of greater risk these group face at the time of natural disasters, earthquakes, tsunamis, terrorism. Additional analysis is made on their social and economic ability to handle these risks. Means if all the people they suffer, since these people, they are not economically very advanced, or they are not financially so strong, so if there is any problem or any natural calamity, any disaster, these people are the worst suffering class, because already they are living in a misery. If there is any earthquake, if there is any flood, if there is any anything you can think about, these people get affected first and the most, because immediately they become houseless, their houses are gone. Okay, then they do not have any financial background, or financial finance means huge business or anything which can help them to overcome the current situation. A very good example of this is during the pandemic year 2020, when the nationwide lockdown was announced, we saw number of laborers migrating from metro cities to their villages. Many of these villagers or the laborers, they did not even had money or the resources to take a train, and many of them, they walked for 500 kilometers, many died. So why was this? Because they had no financial background, they did not had enough money or enough resources to survive this kind of pandemic, or the problem which everyone faced. Rich class or middle class, they were able to cope up or float over the current situation. They were affected, they had their problems, they also faced financial problem, but they never faced problem to that extent that they had no bread for the lunch or dinner. These people, they had such a big problem that they could not even afford meal of 2 times. So how we analyze a person is more vulnerable to natural calamities or if he is poor or not? By finding out his current situation, see his current standard of living, what kind of condition he is living in, what kind of house, what kind of food, what kind of education is he giving to his children, what kind of medical facilities is he availing, what is how is their health, how is the sanitation facilities. All these factors are taken into consideration while determining this, that which are the groups which are more or at a higher greater risk of becoming poor or remain or are in a situation that they will remain poor. Think about the workers, laborers. After the pandemic also, will their situation improve? Government is giving them money, time to time government is transferring fund to their accounts, say 1000, 2000, 5000, whatever it is, but is that amount sufficient? Is this enough for them? Will they be able to cope up with the or overcome the problems or overcome the difficulties they are facing right now? Will they be lifted out of poverty? This is not possible. Okay. Additional analysis to analyze, analysis means to analyze, to look properly, is made of their social and economic ability to handle these risk. How will they be able to face the risk or survive the current situation or not? In fact, vulnerability described the greater probability of being more adversely affected than other people when bad time come for everybody, whether flood or earthquake or simply fall in the availability of jobs. It is also options available to different communities for finding an alternative living in terms of assets, education, health and job opportunities. Now how do we determine vulnerability, means the insecurity of a person? By finding out alternative living in terms of assets, means do these people have any asset like land, etc. Do they have any assets, means house, any vehicles, any business, any land or anything, any fixed deposit, means do they have any other alternative other than the, means they are living in a current situation, do they have any other option, any other plan B? Education, health and job opportunities, are they in a situation to provide better education or to raise the education level of their children? Are they in a position to get better health facilities? Are they able, can they afford a treatment at a super specialty or multi specialty hospital or the state of the art hospitals, means advanced or big hospitals? Then do they have access to job opportunities, or do they have any other option for earning a living other than what they are doing right now? do they have any other chance, or do they have any other means you can say place where they can find living or earn their livelihood? These all things together, when we count, we are able to decide if a person is is vulnerable or not, if he is in a greater chance of remain in poor stage or becoming poor or not. Okay, so these things are together make vulnerability. Vulnerability together put together means the risk or insecurity of a person or of the community to remain in the current situation like we are having to, like they are living in. So now we have completed poverty estimates. Okay, we have completed this story of Sevaraman. Now we will talk about interstate disparities. Interstate disparities means, inter means antarrajya. Okay, disparities means differences. What are the differences in states? Poverty in India also has another aspect or dimension. The proportion of poor people is not the same in every state. Although state level poverty has witnessed a secular decline from the levels of early 70s, the success rate of reducing poverty varies from state to state. At the time of independence, all the states or all the cities, we'll talk about states only, states in India, they had one thing common, that most of the people at that time were living below the line of poverty, or most of the people were poor. But with the passage of the time, with the development, with the implementation of various policies by the government, different states or some states had been able to improve their situation, like state of Punjab. With the development of agriculture infrastructure, they are able to raise the standard of living. Delhi, Bombay, Gujarat, okay, some Kerala, Karnataka, Hyderabad, okay, all these are the cities, Bangalore, all these are cities, means some say states and cities, they are much more developed, much more advanced. People over there, they are earning good salary, or they are living a good life because they got more chance, they have with the passage of time they have developed, and these states and cities were able to bring down the ratio or proportion of poor people living over there. But same is not the case with every state or city in India. Recent estimates show, while all Indian head count ratio means number of people, poor people living in that area. Head count ratio is number of poor people living in that particular area. Head count ratio means number of poor people living in that area. Now, how do we calculate if a person is rich or poor? We had already discussed. We take into consideration number of things, and on basis of those parameters on things, we are able to classify if a person is rich or a poor, or he is living below the line of poverty. Head count ratio was 21.9% in 2011-12 in states like and states like Madhya Pradesh, Assam, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Odisha had above all India poverty levels. Here it means that Madhya Pradesh, Assam, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 states had high number of poor people. Means number of poor peoples in state or in India, these 5 states were at the top. Okay. As graph 3.2 shows, Bihar and Odisha continue to be the two poorest state with poverty ratios of 33 and 33.7 and 32.6% respectively. Along with the rural poverty, urban poverty is also high in Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. We live in which state? Uttar Pradesh, UP. So we see, do you or can you recall the standard of living of the people around you? You have seen, or many of you must have gone to Delhi, or relatives must be living in Delhi or Bombay, Mumbai, or some other places. You ask them what is or how is the life over there. They have much advanced and good standard of advanced life and good standard of living. People over there, they live in good houses, clean localities, they have all the facilities, and most important thing is their income. Their standard of living is good as compared to the standard of living of the people in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha. Okay, you see around you only what is the level or how the people are living. Do you see level of education in the people? Do you see the level decency in their talking, in their living? Or let's forget all this, how much are they earning? What is their earning capacity? What kind of business they run? You see number of shops, small petty shops they have. If you want anything latest, you have to wait for 5 or 6 months, or you have to order from Delhi or some other place online. You will not get in the markets in cities. That is the difference. That is the difference of development. More poor people are in these cities. That is why all the latest or branded things are late to come in these cities. In comparison, there has been a significant decline in poverty in Kerala, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat and West Bengal. States like Punjab and Haryana have traditionally succeeded in reducing poverty with the help of high agricultural growth rate. Kerala has focused more on human resource development. In West Bengal, land reform measures have helped in reducing poverty. In Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, public distribution of food grains could have been responsible for the improvement. Now, at one place we talk about Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, etc. These states are slow performers, or most of the people or majority of the people in these states are poor. Now we compare to other states, Punjab, Haryana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat. You see number of businesses, big businessmen, big industries are in these areas. Punjab, Haryana, sorry. people over there, they adopted green revolution. They are farming on large scale. They are exporting. They are earning good amount. Now we compare to the farmers in our city, in our Prayagraj. What do you see? Small petty fields using traditional methods, using old techniques, no proper irrigation, nothing is there. Because of all this, what is the result? They are poor. They are not able to produce much, and since they are not able to produce much, they are not able to earn good amount, and people remain poor. Then Kerala, Kerala, they improved or they invested much in human resource development. They invested particularly on health infrastructure, education infrastructure after independence, and now you see the result. 99% literacy rate means almost everybody in Kerala is educated. Their health facilities. The only way to lift a community of a person out of the current situation, out of the misery, is through education. If you educate a person, he will become wise and he will know how to overcome the current situation. In West Bengal, land reforms. Land reforms means reforms or the laws. At the time of independence, there were zamindars. Zamindars, talukdars, landlords. They had huge or large size of land holdings. Means they had huge or very big amount of land under their ownership. So this resulted in disparities or difference. This resulted in high and low class, worker and labor and owner class. So at the time of independence or after the independence, the policy makers or the lawmakers, they thought of that if situation like this continues, then the poor people will again become slaves of the zamindars. So certain laws were passed by the newly formed government. These were called land reforms or the laws related to the land, in which it was decided that a particular size was selected, that no person can have land on his name beyond this much length or area. So West Bengal implemented this law, and because of that they were able to reduce poverty. In Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, public distribution food grains could have been responsible for improvement. Now Punjab, Haryana, they took advantage of agriculture. They used modern methods, improved their land holdings, and they were able to raise their standard of living. West Bengal, he distributed the land from taking the land from zamindars and started distributing the land to the different small farmers, those who did not had land. Now Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, what they did, they used distribution, public distribution system. Ration shops, राशन की दुकान, सरकारी गल्ला बाजार, we call it by local names. Ration shops, public distribution. where people take their ration card, go to the shops and get the proper ration or supplies for the month. So Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, they followed or worked on this particular asset, that poor people should get good quality of food grains. There should be no cheating, there should be no compromise with the quality of the food grains, and every person should get a decent amount or the fixed amount of food grains, so that they are able to eat properly. If they eat properly, they will be in a much good health condition, and they can work properly and earn more. See, 3.2 graph. This graph shows total poverty in India. Bihar 33.7%, Odisha 32.6%, Assam 31.9%, Madhya Pradesh 31.7%, Uttar Pradesh 29.4%. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 states had the highest number of poor peoples. It is number of poor poor people living in these states. So the highest is this one, and lowest is in Kerala, because Kerala, they implemented human resource development, means they spent much on health, education, sanitation, etc. Okay, so because of these things, these states were able to show decline. Means earlier all the states were like this. At the time of independence, all the states, be it Bombay, be it Maharashtra, be it Delhi, be it Assam, Haryana, all the states, they had one thing common, that number of poor living in that states were high. But with the passage of the time, with the development, with the new reforms, new laws, new development, they were able to bring down the number of poor living in their states or in their territory, except for these. Okay, reason might be corruption, reason might be the illiteracy or resistance of the people to adopt the change, unorthodox nature. Okay, many things can be responsible if you go on keep on counting. Okay, just like we had differences, okay, disparities, just like we have difference in states, means among state, interstate disparities can be also be called as among states difference, means differences among states. Put it, I'll write it correctly. differences among states. Okay, interstate disparity. In the on the same as we have differences in states, there are difference in countries also. Some countries are poor, some countries are rich. Why is that? We will talk about it. Global poverty scenario. Now we will see number of people how living in various countries. The proportion of people living in countries living in extreme economic poverty, defined by the World Bank as living on less than $1.90 per day, has fallen from 36% in 1990 to 10% in 2015. Means with the passage of time, with the globalization. Okay, globalization means interlinking of all the countries, starting of trade and commerce among all the countries on a large scale. Okay, linking of one country with another is called globalization. We are countries were able to bring down number of people living poor people living in their country to a great extent, means from 36% to 10%. Okay, and you can say 2.5 decades. In 25 years they were able to bring from 36% to 10%. Although there has been a substantial reduction in global poverty, it is marked with the greater regional differences. Poverty declines substantially in China and Southeast Asian countries as a result of rapid economic growth and massive investment in human resource development. Now, China and Southeast Asian countries had uh, rapid economic growth. Okay, and how did this happen? Because of massive or huge big investment in human resource development. Human resource development means expenditure done by the government for the welfare of the humans or of the citizens, like investment in healthcare facilities, investment in education facilities, okay, sanitation, drinking water, all these things, training institutes. So all the facilities which help in development of the people are grouped together in human development or human resource development. Okay, so we will continue tomorrow or in the next class with the other topics. This topic, global poverty scenario, again I will take tomorrow in detail. Till then, take care, good night, sweet dreams.